Hello viewers, thank you for tuning in to the Offshore Accountant podcast, where we try to bring in discussions around the topic of accounting industry, the technological changes, practice management, and other changes surrounding the accounting industry. We are in episode 5 of the accounting podcast, and today we have as our guest the recently elected President of the Association of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, Mr. Arun Raut. So without further ado, let me welcome our guest for today, Mr. Arun Raut. Mr. Raut, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Sushil. It's my pleasure to be here.
It was very kind of you to accept my invitation for this podcast, and I'm very grateful. I have this tradition in the podcast where we begin the podcast by having the guest introduce themselves, and I think I'll have you introduce yourself, who you are and what you do.
I'm a chartered accountant by education and by profession. So by education and profession is a different thing. So as I am qualified from Institute of Chartered Accountants Nepal in 2009, I am a chartered accountant by education. Right. But after that, I was involved in, and I am involved in a lot of accounting and auditing practices. So as a practice also, we call it a chartered accountancy practice or auditing and consulting practices. So in both of these terms, I am a chartered accountant by educations and by professions.
Right. No, I like it very much. You are a chartered accountant, but I want to know, when did you start thinking about being a chartered accountant? When did it cross your mind to study further accounting as a career, as an education? Where did you get started?
Okay, I am a lucky one, I should say, because my father was also involved in accounting professions. He is involved in kind of government organizations where I was also exposed to such kind of environments where there are auditings, where there are accountings, and I was able to meet different chartered accountants, senior chartered accountants. So from class 8 itself, I have a passion to become a chartered accountant. And in our school also, when our teacher used to ask what's your aim in life, I think those were the questions that were asked in class 8 English, where you need to have a essay on ambition of your life. And I used to talk about chartered accountancy, and I think most of my friends and even the teachers don't know about CAs. So from that year itself, or from that period itself, I have always wanted to become a chartered accountant. Then I pursued my class 10 or SLC itself. Then I did my plus 2 in management stream to become a chartered accountant, because I have a decent marks in SLC also. Most of the people or most of my family members pushed me to opt for another kind of, especially the science stream. But I preferred going into management stream, and then after that I have a passion to join university. So I did my bachelor's courses first, and then later on I pursued chartered accountancy courses. So this is the general journey of my education career, where I always focused on accounting and auditing aspects. I don't know why, but it was from the beginning itself, because maybe because of my exposure to accounting.
We can say that you are an accountant's son, and who chose the path of pursuing his father's business or legacy or whatever career his father was doing, because it's quite natural for doctor's son to be doctor, for an engineer's son to be engineer, because they grow up in that surroundings, and the first thing they think about is their father's career. And like you said, your father was an accountant, or he worked around the accounting industry, and you wanted to do the same in the same industry, and also move a step forward in the same industry. So you decided that you wanted to be a chartered accountant at an early age, and then you finished your bachelor's degree here in Nepal, I assume. And then after that, where did you got your certification? or what is the further journey that you took there?
Okay, exactly. I don't agree on what you said because my father has a passion and I pursued chartered accountancy. This is not like that. Yeah, he has exposure in accounting, and because of his networks, I got an opportunity to meet a lot of chartered accountants. But my elder sister pursued a different kind of education courses, and she is into different field, and my younger sister is also into a different kind of field. So it's up to us
Right.
what we wanted to do, and my family has a very open-minded thinking that we can do anything what we like. So it's not only chartered accountancy course, but it's also engineering and other that I had that opportunities, or even the medical sectors. But yeah, because of the exposures, I have an interest in accounting. My sister has both the sisters has different interest in different kind of fields. So it's not accounting only that my or it's not my family that pushed me into chartered accountancy. And when I did my SLC at that time, I did my plus 2 from one of the reputed college at that time, and later on did my bachelor's degree in private colleges, which is now reputed institutions. And then later on I joined Institute of Chartered Accountant Nepal for a chartered accountancy courses, and I have a very good passion on getting a depth knowledge, so I didn't take any classes. For now it may be a different scenario, but at that time chartered accountancy was thought of a self-learning process. So I didn't take any tuition classes and did my CAP, we call it a inter-level at that time, or presently it is called CAP 2. I didn't need to go for a foundation courses because I have already done my bachelor's degree.
Right.
So immediately after appearing in the examination, I applied for a registration in Acan, and I didn't wait for the certificate results also.
Right.
And did my CAP inter-level classes or the study syllabus. After passing that, and I am the gold medalist at that time.
Right.
For CAP inter-level examinations, we have to do a 3 years articleship training, and I did my articleship in the same firm where I am now, and qualified in the first attempt in the CA final itself. So this is the whole journey, and in between that time I also pursued master's level examinations from TU itself and did my master's degree, and I have a very good educational results maybe.
Right.
On that level also.
I didn't know that you are a gold medalist in your CAP 2, and also you secured your certification in your first attempt. That was very great to hear. So that's where your career started, or your education for a period finished, right? Your certification finished, and now you move into your career. How did that journey look like? And from after being chartered accountant to now running a practice, what was the journey there?
Okay, I qualified in 2009 June, and it's been almost 15 years, more than 15 years from that period. And for the first 10 years, maybe I am very deep into practice and everything. So people in the business world know me at that time. I was into some completely into assignments and everything, but not exposed to a local environments, or not exposed to an outside world.
Right.
Maybe. And within that period of 10 years, I learned most of the things of firm management and everything, as I have a very good relationship or a very good guidance from our my senior partners at present. So that has helped me also thinking about the future. I joined a firm which is already established, and where the partners were already at that time 20 years senior, and some partners were 30 years senior than me in profession itself. So this was a kind of blending between the old generation, the mid kind of generations, and the junior chartered accountants who just qualified in 2000 June. So it was a kind of very good blending into the team itself, and later on that energetic approach or the fresh blood helped me to do a lot of technical assignments and lot of new bring into a lot of new ideas into the firm itself. So for the period of 10 years, I should say, I was completely into assignments. I was not exposed to any outer world.
Right.
But yeah, I have a good network with the business world, but not with the other surroundings. So this was how I did. And after that period, I think in 14, 15 or 13, 14 maybe, I exactly don't remember the year itself, maybe 13, 14, I was asked to be a executive member of Acan by my friend, and I was very hesitant on that. But after a lot of discussions and a lot of feedbacks from my seniors also, I joined Acan in 13, 14 as an executive member, and I was the last one in the list itself to file for an nomination, and it was a unanimous voting at that time. And from that, my journey into outside world, or maybe into Acan itself, or that began.
After your certification, you started working in a already established firm. It was what was the name of the firm?
As we are not, as I am binded by the code of ethics, I think I shouldn't say the name of the firm, but it's one of the reputed firm in Kathmandu.
So you started working for a reputed firm, and then you began working in the firm, and you worked your way up. So you were just an employee when you started your work, and then you became partner, right?
Yeah, that is also one of my achievement, I should say, because in 2009 itself, the firm size of the firms were very limited to one partner, or at least one proprietorship firms or two partners. And luckily we have a firm where there are 3 partners itself, and we are working together for the last 20 years. And I was introduced as a partner from 2011, maybe 11 June itself. So I worked as an employee only for 1.5 years, and immediately became a partner in that firm. And maybe I am the youngest one at that time who became a partner in one of the leading firm in Nepal. And later on, that practice continued in other firms, and now we have a lot of firms who encourages new members or new chartered accountants to be a partner in that firm.
Right. Still, a lot has changed from when you started, but still making partner within a year and a half, that is quite an achievement, I would say. Because for new entrants into the chartered accountants firm, the accounting firms, they do not at least 5 years of their time would be spent working there, and then after that making a junior partner, and maybe sometime later making senior partner. But I think your case, maybe they already knew that this man is a partner material, maybe the work that you did. So that's quite inspirational. So after that, you are still working in the same firm as a partner, and you are doing your practice in the same firm, right?
This is what we need to understand about the chartered accountancy process itself, because in accounting field, or the whole chartered accountancy process, we need to understand what we want to achieve. This is the first thing that we all need to understand. And at the time, when I qualified in the year 2009 June itself, I was in a dilemma whether to continue as a practitioner or whether to go for a kind of job itself. And at that time, there was a lot of opportunities in banking sector, and I was offered a very good positions also by a number of commercial banks in Nepal. Because in the firm itself, I was looking after a banking sector, so I have a very good experience with the banking sectors and a very good connections with a lot of commercial banks in Nepal. But yeah, because of my senior team or senior partners' openness, or my attitude to work together with the team, I was more interested into team working, and I was more interested in accepting the challenges at the time. So we have at that time we started a new kind of assignment in Nepal. So I was more interested in owning a firm rather than doing kind of job itself. So I opted to join the firm, and where we started a new kind of assignments or new kind of areas. So this is how my journey started. Yeah, we are into statutory audits and lot of tax practices, but I should say we were the pioneer in doing due diligence audit, especially in banking sector.
Right.
And later on we did a lot of due diligence activity in other commercial sectors also. Now private equity is there, and we are one of the pioneer in handling those issues, and presently we are also providing a kind of we are looking into a new kind of sectors, especially regarding this management services and everything. So this is how we do thing, and Nepali market is quite dynamic, so it
Right.
keeps on changing every 2 years. So you need to be proactive, you need to be dynamic, and you should have a lot of open mindedness. There should be a team who should work every night and day. It's not that you can start your work at 10 o'clock exactly in the morning and can complete your work within from 5, because we are into challenging professions where most of us complain about the pricing itself.
Right.
So if you have such kinds of environment, then you need to be dynamic, you need to be proactive, and I think we should appreciate all the chartered accountants or all the auditors
Right.
who are doing this work in Nepal itself, because it's a challenging job, and lot of things is expected from the client side, from the government side also, from the regulator side also. There is a huge expectations from the stakeholders, while the return itself
Right.
is a decent amount. I
Right.
shouldn't say it's not decent amount, but there is a big gap between these two. So you need to be dynamic, and I think we are here because of that dynamism factor, and we are growing.
Right.
And my firm is almost 35 years, but we are still growing. That we call it a organizational growth process.
Even though your firm is 35 years old, you still run it like a new firm, right? Like a young, youthful firm where you have a vision of growing faster and faster and growing at a at least a good pace, so that you can be bigger and bigger each year, and also maybe take into account what new changes have been in the industry, and be the first one to adapt it and give.
We should always be looking into that factor. So when COVID came, I think COVID is one of the most challenging scenarios in Nepalese accounting industry. It's a challenge to all the industries, all the sectors, but it's also a big challenge to a accounting industry. But personally, I shouldn't say from the firm's aspect, but I should say from the personal aspect also, it has been one of my best exposure timing, because I was involved in a lot of online trainings and everything, and there were a lot of institutions, including Institute of Chartered Accountant in Nepal itself, which provided me ample opportunity to reach out the accounting professions, and where I did almost for the 9 months I have done more than 60-65 trainings. So for the whole day sometimes, and for the morning and whole day sometimes.
Right.
So it has become an opportunity for me also to reach out a lot of accountants, a lot of people interested in the accounting field, a lot of people interested in the taxation field, and I am much into IFRS and tax. So both this concept is a must for any accountants working in Nepal.
Right.
So this has helped me a lot in reaching out to a
Yeah, so
right
after
now.
COVID or during COVID, when everything was shuttered, and the trainings had to be done from online, and because of the availability of time, there were many members that were tuning in into your training. Was that the time when you decided that because you are now having regular contacts with the members, with other chartered accountants, young chartered accountants, was that the time that you decided that maybe I can do more for these young chartered accountants, for aspiring chartered accountants, and then was there the time when you decided that maybe I have a bigger role I can play as a president of the an organization that is a social organization for these chartered accountants?
Yeah, that is one of the reasons. But as I am already worked as a EC member and as a general secretary of Acan already in the year maybe 2018-19 as a general secretary of Acan, I was into Acan and I knew a lot of benefits of Acan, what Acan can deliver, what Acan can deliver to the members, and what I can achieve from that delivery. So that helped me a lot in understanding and the process itself. And later on, these COVIDs and everything helped me to reach out the members also. And this has shown me a lot of opportunities. And later on, when COVID ended, there were a lot of calls or a lot of requests to reach out to the members from the association itself, from the institute itself, from the regulatory agencies also. And I mostly want to become available to these institutions. So whenever these institutions wanted me, I was always there. So this has also helped me, and I have always a zeal to work for the benefit of the professions, because whatever I do for the professions, because I am into only the professions, I am not into other areas. So that has also instigated some kind of interest in working as a president, and the rest is history, because I filed nominations and got elected from a members' vote. So this is how I became a president of Acan, and it's a normal process because I'm involved into a professions, and I wanted to have a leadership role also, and where you can drive the whole professions, so for the benefits of the profession. So that positions will help me.
You were a student of the accounting profession, and then you started as an employee in the practice. You then became made partner, and then we come to the present day, and here we are now. You have been elected as the president of the Association of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, also called Acan. But for the viewers who do not understand or who have no idea what Acan is, would you be able to elaborate on what Acan is and what it does?
Yeah, Sushil, thank you very much for this kind of questions, because normally people think Acan as only an association, but it's not only an association, it's a heart for the accounting professions in Nepal, because Acan was established in almost 47 years ago. It's not just recently established, so it has almost a history of 47 years ago, maybe in the year 1977 itself, with very few senior chartered accountants. And they have a vision to establish an institute itself, and with that vision, Acan lobbied with the government. It did a lot of disciplinary actions and everything among its members, and it did a lot of professional upliftment role, and later on it was able to establish Acan. So in the Institute of Chartered Accountant Act itself, Acan is recognized. So we shouldn't ignore the presence of Acan. The president of Acan, when Acan was established, is the president of Acan ad hoc committee. So this is how Acan delivered its vision, mission, and later on it changed its objective for the betterment of the profession itself. So Acan and Acan, you need to segregate between these two. Acan is a regulator, and it's established by the parliament itself. So it has a member, both the registered auditor and CAs are the member of Institute of Chartered Accountants Nepal, Acan. But in Acan, you will only find chartered accountants or the members who have an international degree or the local degree of chartered accountancy, having a Nepali citizenship and having a 3 years of articleship. So
Right.
these are the three things that you need to have to become a member of Acan. So anyone qualifying from ICI or ICAN having a 3 years articleship and having a citizenship, or even from other institutes which is recognized by in Nepal, having a 3 years articleship and citizenship is only allowed to be a member of Acan.
Right.
So it's a different thing. All the chartered accountants who is qualified from ICAN and Acan and having a citizenship are eligible to become a member of Acan, but it's not necessary that they will become a member of ICAN. So Acan will have a broader role in regulating its members, not exactly regulating its members, but in uplifting its members. So we have a 3200 members. So you can say that 3200 chartered accountants are involved in Acan itself, and recently voters numbers were around 1950.
Right.
So 1950 were actively involved in electing their executive committees. So in terms of the size of the population itself, the number of Acan is growing, and it's a big number.
Right.
And the Acan's presence is all over Nepal. So we have a different kind of central committee, even the provincial committee and the district level committees. So it has a wide access all over Nepal, and there are around 341 members were directly involved in that elections, while rest of them were from within Kathmandu Valley. So it's not that Acan is only within Kathmandu.
Right.
Acan is all over Nepal, and Acan's activity is penetrated all over Nepal.
There's the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, which is the regulator of the chartered accountancy profession, and the members are only those members that have gotten their membership from the ICAN, or the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, while the Association of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, also called Acan, is a member organization of chartered accountants. The chartered accountants may or may not be the members of ICAN. Right. So members of foreign institutes, bodies can become, if they are Nepali citizen and if they have completed their trainingship or articleship, then they are eligible, and if they apply, they can get a membership of Acan. And Acan is also divided into, or the organizational structure of Acan is such that it has a central committee, and then it has provincial, and down the line the district committees. Right. That is the organizational structure of Acan. But what is the vision, or what is the mission of this association?
Yeah, the main vision or the role of, or the objective of Acan is for the work for the benefits of its members. The members are chartered accountants, that's for sure. Apart from that, Acan also works for the benefits of the accounting profession itself. So whatever it delivers through its members, and it delivers for the benefits of its members. So there is a lot of legal role, lot of technical role, and lot of social role of Acan. So it's not that it only deals with the technical aspects, it only deals with the social aspect. There are combinations of all these aspects into Acan's objectives and Acan's activity itself. For delivering those roles, Acan conducts a lot of programs among its members. Acan just recently requested our Honorable President to be the chief guest of Acan's program. So from those activity also, Acan is always there among its members and among its for the benefits of the society itself. And apart from this, it also works for the social causes. Whenever there is a problem into the society, especially there is a lot of natural calamities here, a lot of other aspects where its members actively involves in the donation activities and everything. It has a direct role on social aspects also, and for the benefits of the members. And apart from that, there are a lot of technical issues relating to the accounting professions, relating to the tax aspects. Acan always comes forefront in having its say on those things. There are a lot of tax issues where Acan has clarified its version or clarified its saying. There are other issues also where, for example, especially regarding this equivalency issues and everything, where Acan has always raised its voice for the benefits of its members or for the benefits of the society as such. So its role is quite diverse.
Right.
And that's why I always try to say that Acan should be vibrant and Acan should be digital. So from these two aspects, vibrant and making Acan digital will help in achieving the objectives of Acan clearly.
So after becoming the president of Acan, what are your own aspirations and visions for the organization and its members?
I have a clear agendas on what I can do, and there are a lot of other agendas from the elected members and non-elected members. So we have compiled every agendas into a single frame to prepare for a strategic plan.
Right.
That strategic plan is not for a whole 5 years, 10 years, but we are just defining it to be achieved within a period of 1.5 years or 2 years, and there is a clear set of time-bound objective and activities that we are going to do for the achievement of those agendas. The main agendas is for the benefits of the members itself. So we have planned to have more access to the members itself. Our understanding is that we need to reach out to the members and not the members should reach out to us. So we try to develop our own database of its members. There are multiple members who are outside Nepal, who are outside Kathmandu Valley, or in the different geographical locations of members. And our members are also diverse in terms of age groups also. There are senior members, there are middle-aged members, and there are newcomer members. And they have their own requirements, or they have their own expectations from the Acan itself. For example, members in Kathmandu Valley have their own expectations or different kind of expectations than compared to the members in outside valley. Similarly, the senior members have different expectations or different role in Acan as compared to the middle-aged members or the younger members or recently joined members. There are two kinds of members in practice and members in service, and they have their own expectations from Acan. And apart from that, Acan itself has to play a very prominent role on raising up the voices of chartered accountants, raising up the voices on technical issues, raising up the voices on other legal aspects, raising up the voices on social issues. So those are the roles that Acan has to play. So those expectations has to be matched.
So what you are doing is you are not packaging every member to one bundle and trying to figure out what they want, but dividing the members into groups, members in service, members in practice, members from the central or Kathmandu, and members from the fringes of Nepal, right? Young members, middle-aged members, old members. Every type of members have their own expectations, their own aspirations, and so you are trying to divide those members into those groups and trying to figure out what they want.
Exactly.
And have them or get as many aspirations or expectations of them fulfilled as possible.
Yeah, as it is a voluntary associations, we don't say that we can complete everything.
Right.
And there are resources constrained also.
Right.
But what we can do is we can reach out to those members and ask for the resources or request for the resources from other aspects. But my clear vision is that it has to be sustainable. Whatever we do has to be sustainable. Whenever there will be any plan or any programs or any flagship program that we introduce, that has to be sustainable. So even if I am not the president of Acan, that program has to be continued for the next remaining period or whatever the Acan, the subsequent EC of Acan thinks appropriate. So I always try to make it a sustainable programs or sustainable activities so that Acan's voice is there continuously.
Right.
And similarly, their expectations are different. So if there are a resource concern, we can reach out to those members. And you see, maintaining a database and working in a very clear strategic plan will help us in achieving those goals. Apart from that, we have also introduced a members beneficiary program. For example, we have just recently have a memorandum of understanding with one of our insurance companies, which is Himalayan Everest Insurance Companies, where they committed us for a accidental death insurance of up to 5 lakh rupees for our members. This helped our members to be benefited from the membership of Acan itself, and those who are not the member of Acan also will be attracted in these kinds of additional value added benefits from the membership of Acan. And we also are going to organize a lot of technical sessions on these things,
Right.
Especially on the IT sectors, especially on the Power BI, especially on Python based programs. So this will be our continuous program, so that especially the new members will know about the new developments in the different fields, and that will help our new members to get some kind of exposure on those things, and they can figure out what kind of new opportunities are there into the international and the local markets, and so that they can later on develop their skill sets and work on those areas, so that overall professions will be raised up to that standard. So
Right.
we try to give exposures to our members into the new fields, so that the members themselves will figure out what will be the opportunities. It's not us who will be saying that these are the opportunities, but we are trying to provide a lot of exposure to our members, so that they can figure out what will be beneficial for them,
Right.
what areas are going to be developed in the next 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, so that they can develop their skill sets on those areas, and they can excel in the future, so that whole professions will be developed to
So
the new level.
I love that Acan is looking at the changes or the new skill sets that are being expected of chartered accountants or those in accounting and finance professionals, and that you are going to help these young chartered accountants get skilled in those areas. You talked about Power BI, data analytics. This gives me a very good opportunity to segue from talking about just Acan and now going into what changes have been occurring in the accounting industry. Like you said, you talked about Power BI and analytics. I also see that because of the millions of data points generated every day, and now we are talking about big data. There is a lot of data, not just simple data, but financial and accounting data that needs to be gone through, and an expert needs to wade through all those data and make sense of those data, tell a story, a financial story, if I may, right? So that is what is happening in the world, and I'm very happy that Acan is planning on upskilling their members on that aspect. When talking about the changes or the recent developments in the accounting industry, I'd like to if you are aware of this or not, there's a frenzy going on in the world where they are saying that accounting was never a sexy job, but now more than ever there are few people who want to get into accounting. So there is a global shortage in the world, mostly in the Western world, the US, UK and Australia. And what do you see in Nepal, whether the same trend is being, has come to Nepal, where people have been choosing other professions over accounting, or do you see the limelight or the traction towards accounting even getting more and more better for the accountants in Nepal?
I have a different understanding on these issues, because we are a developing country, and what I understand is, well, we have educated generations, only 3 or 4 generations, not only 2 or 3 generations are educated.
Right.
Me and my father or my grandfather.
Right.
So we are not very exposed to this education sectors or education background or university level educations from the very past. That if you see Indian experience also, they were educated from 7 generation, 8 generations like that. But we are very new into education areas, and I think most of the families have educated generation for 2 to 3 generations. So we are recently exposed to international environments and recently exposed to a new kind of professional requirements.
Right.
So our institutes, our associations, our profession itself, or the whole economic world, you see, is not that old enough. It's only 50 years, 60 years, and even 50 years is not a quite old phenomena for the whole international world. And this kind of skill sets is new to us, so we have a lot of opportunities, and we have a demographic advantage also for the for the next 10 years, 15 years. Whatever the problem is there in the Western world is a opportunity for us.
Right.
For example, recently there are a lot of hue and cry that people from Nepal and even the technical one went out of Nepal to new countries, for example, especially Australia, America, and most of them chartered accountants are going to Gulf countries. And this is not because of the local scenario also. There are a lot of opportunities there. So whenever there is opportunities, people starts flowing to that area.
Right.
For example, Gulf countries introduced tax for the first time, so there are a lot of opportunities for the chartered accountants. So that's why they moved out of Nepal to those areas. But when we start creating opportunities here, or when there are opportunities that can be catered from Nepal itself, then there will be a lot of people from flowing back to Nepal, or people will be planning to stay in Nepal and catering similar kind of services outside Nepal. Because of this technological advances, you see, outsourcing and IT based services, there are a lot of opportunities here in Nepal also. So there are companies who are providing services from Kathmandu Valley, especially from Pokhara itself, and I don't see much apart from these 2 places, but there are professions who are providing those services to the international world also. So opportunities has increased.
Right.
My senior partner was qualified in 1971.
Right.
And when he qualified in 1971, there were only 2 to 3 job assignments available for him, and there were no such kind of auditing and assurance. I qualified in 2009, and there were a lot of opportunities that I can pursue auditing assurance activities, or I can pursue go into a different job sectors, job markets.
Right.
So this has increased, but the reputational value has decreased, because there are a lot of chartered accountants, and there is a lot of abilities, then there are a lot of comparisons going on. There are other competitive professionals also, those are competing with the accounting or the chartered accountants. So this has changed, but the opportunities has not reduced, but it has increased.
Right.
And that has moved within Nepal also and outside Nepal also.
Right.
So we need to think from that perspective. It's not that you are confined to Kathmandu Valley only now.
Right.
You are not confined to Pokhara itself, or you are not confined to Biratnagar or
Right.
Birtamur.
So you are saying that accountants in Nepal are not in shortage, but there's enough to even cater to outside of Nepal, right? So people are still pursuing accounting, not just in to become a chartered accountant, but from university pursuing their bachelor's degree.
Exactly.
and becoming a graduate accountants. So there has never been a better opportunity or chances for these young people to become accountants, because there is also a global shortage. They want to capture that shortage, and from Nepal, or some also go outside of Nepal and go to those countries and grab those opportunities. So there is no shortage here, but we are in surplus, and we could provide services, top-notch services to the accounting requirements to firms or companies outside of Nepal. And when we are talking about a lot of accounting professionals or a lot of accounting talent available in Nepal, I think we should also talk about cloud accounting, because for a lot of period of time accounting was desktop based. Before it was manual, then it was desktop based, and now the world has shifted or is shifting from desktop-based accounting to cloud, right? So that also has helped accountants in Nepal to work for companies outside of Nepal and also for companies from the US and the UK and Australia to send their work, because it's all in the cloud, and if you can get skilled manpower outside of your country for a lower cost, then it's even better for their bottom line. So how do you see the cloud accounting has changed the scenario of accounting in Nepal, in the world, and how do you see it benefiting or moving forward in the future?
For this aspects, you need to segregate between the two areas, the local service markets and the international service market. For the local service market, I think there is still a reluctancy on adopting technologies,
right?
Because there are security issues involved with the clients' documentations and everything. So that is why local firms were still not capable enough to share the data into the cloud, or there are a lot of security issues involved in those things because of the security features, so the amount involved introducing those security features into the system itself. And now for the auditing assurance activities, this process has increased a lot. For example, sharing data into the data room itself, sharing documents into the data room itself, and no one want to see the auditors.
Right.
So only while doing an inter meeting, exit meeting, or midterm kickoff meetings and midterm review, those are the only things that they want to see the auditors. Apart from that, all the documents, even in Nepal, even in local audits, are shared into the data room and starting, and those documents were reviewed by the local teams. So these are the aspects that has been introduced into the local auditing and insurance markets. But yeah, for the international one, if you have international clients, everything is cloud based. Yeah, most of the software is SaaS model. So you can cater to the Australian clients, and similarly to American clients with a different time zone, and similar to a Nepali client.
Right.
So this has started a lot, and this is a very good opportunities for Nepal, because compared to Indian professionals or the Chinese professionals, our cost is much lower. And yeah, there are some earlier there were some power issues, there were some internet issues, but we don't have that issues. Yeah, there is some branding issues on Nepalese service sector itself, but as we are 3200 chartered accountants still available in Nepal with a high skill set, with a lot of rigorous training available, and there are more than I think 10,000 other accountants that are available in Nepal. And as there are around 500,000 SEE graduates every year, we have a very good demographic advantage on these accounting aspects. So I think rather than a local one, we have a very good opportunities on this international kinds of services, international areas where you can have a time benefits on this Australian aspects. I think we can resort to even Indian markets for some kind of value-added services, and American markets also. And I compare accounting professionals with the IT professionals. Just few days ago, I have a very good discussions with one of my friends who is working in the IT sector, and was saying that the entry-level pay is much higher, almost 3 times for the IT professionals than the accounting professionals.
Right.
This is because they are exposed to an international market, they are catering to international clients, so their pricing factors as compared to America or as compared to the developed world is much lower, but as compared to the local market, that is much higher, almost 3 times higher, and the working environment is also very good, and their mobility is also high. So from an economic perspective, foreign currency income, the mobility, the satisfaction level of the professionals itself is very important. So from a local perspective, yeah, it may not be that the people won't be willing to work in the local companies, but they are willing to work in the American companies or the Australian companies because the pay is much higher, and that put pressure on the local companies also to scale up.
Right.
And that put pressure on the government also to have lot of deregulations into those aspects. So this is a quite good timing for us to develop the profession itself.
Right.
And as this has been replicated by the IT sectors, we are here to replicate the same thing. And within this 5-10 years, I think we have to catch up.
To your point about cloud accounting being more developed in the Western world, a bookkeeper or an accountant here in Nepal can access Xero or QuickBooks or Sage and help record or keep books of foreign companies. But also to your point, when you talked about cloud accounting not being too developed in the Nepali economy, Nepali businesses still having hesitance to adopt cloud technology. I'm also quite hopeful because I see a lot of companies now bringing in the homegrown companies, IT companies that are producing cloud-based accounting applications. I recently had talk with one of them. There is Stig, there is Sushil, there's other accounting softwares that cater to each industry. So I'm also hopeful that this will be adopted quite soon. And also looking at the online ledgers they have been able to produce, there's a potential not just of accounting to go abroad, but also the accounting applications that is being developed in Nepal to go abroad, and maybe 5 to 10 years down the line, maybe we will be working from Nepal, but we will be working from with accounting software produced here in Nepal, but we will be keeping books of companies outside of Nepal. I think I'm quite hopeful in that regard because this is a very exciting times that we live in, because there is a certain changes, rapid changes that have been happening in the accounting industry, and it's opened up quite a lot of opportunities. Yes, it will take some time to grab those opportunities, be skilled to benefit from those opportunities, but the opportunities are there. There are some low-hanging fruits that we could capture easily, and there are things that we can do in the long term to help the accounting industry develop in Nepal.
Yeah, it's quite a big opportunities, and there are a lot of local companies that are working in that. And we have also suggested the tax authority on sharing their APIs for the benefits of these IT companies here in Nepal, so that you see there are a lot of problems while submitting the tax returns and everything. But if you have a direct connections because through the API into a tax system process, then there is no requirement for submitting all those returns and everything. You can directly extract that data from your accounting database and directly submit those returns. So these are the general process that we have to introduce, and so that our professionals are much more focused on qualitative aspects, more on the financial aspects, more on the value addition aspects than a tedious cumbersome or calculating arithmetical calculations and everything. So these are the things that we need to learn from the international market, and we need to suggest, and we need to also incorporate in our working process. I am very hopeful, and I am very enthusiastic on the next 10-15 years that the accounting profession is going to change.
Right.
But we need to be very dynamic, and we need to increase our skill set to be prepared for those growth, to be prepared for reaping those benefits.
Asma Resmuki, the president of IFAC, the International Federation of Accountants, was here in Nepal recently on an event organized by Acan, and I liked her keynote speech where she was talking about opportunities being generated for not just Nepali accountants but the accounting profession as a whole, especially in assurance. When we are talking about assurance, we are just talking about auditing financial statements, and that was it. But with the growth of technology, there's also the risk of security issues. Until today, security professionals have been giving assurance as to the cyber security aspects of the systems in companies, but she was talking about the cybersecurity professionals, the IT professionals are not bound by the ethics that accountants are bound by. They do not work under public interest that accountants, the professional accountants, work with. So there is an opportunity for accountants to be the assurance providers of those, cyber security problems, where yes, it is right that they will need the services of the IT professionals. They cannot do the assurance work themselves alone, but they can partner with IT professionals, or they can take the services of IT professionals and give assurance to on the cyber security aspects there. So the technology has been changing accounting in such that we can work from anywhere, and also because our public interest ethical standards that are being followed by accountants, they have a greater role to play in the coming generations or coming days.
Yeah, there is quite a lot of opportunities on assurance aspects also. Because of these local understandings, we are more focused on this financial statement assurance or opinion forming an opinion.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of opportunities in the assurance activities or assurance areas. It's not that financial statements, that assurance is focused only on the providing opinion in financial statements, but there are a lot of opportunities there. You see, just I think 2-3 years ago there was an event into the Oscar where process has to be assured or vetted by the big four firms, and there were some technical glitches, and that firm were held liable for all this process.
Right.
So there are those areas in the international market where assurance are provided not only on the financial aspects but other aspects as well. But here we have started, and I think these assurance services keeps on going. Now I think a lot of assurance is also warranted by the Security Exchange Board regulations, and there are other aspects from the central bank also, from the insurance authority also, and apart from these authority also there are a lot of assurance requirements. Recently one of my clients asked me for a salary survey, but the salary survey has to be conducted by a reputed firm, and this has to be this will be made available in their website to a public consumptions.
Right.
So that is a kind of assurance service. It's not only focused on the financial aspects,
Right.
but it's focused on more on the development of the fraternity itself or the profession itself.
Right.
So we need to go beyond our financial statement assurance, and there are other opportunities also. Cost accounting part, other technical aspects also, SOPs development process, process development areas. There are other areas where we can provide assurance activities or assurance related services.
Until now, majority of firms have been myopic in their vision regarding the number of work or the nature of the diversity of work that they can do. Right? When we're talking about assurance, we're just talking about financial assurance, and majority of the firms are satisfied or content with just doing financial statement assurance. Other fringes or other body of work that chartered accountants should and could go into, and because there are those are low hanging fruits, right? So assurance about the data, assurance about, like you said, whether or not some documents is truthful because of the public interest that chartered accountants follow. And there are also, when we talked about earlier, data analytics, there are forecasting, there are due diligence work that can be done, but have been ignored for quite a long time, maybe because of lack of opportunities, but also maybe because of the myopic vision of firms not looking into those aspects, not trying to explore those aspects. And also I want to talk about, like, when we are talking about technology, we are talking about the benefits that it is providing, so the opportunities that it is bringing forward. But when we're talking about firms in practices or firms in consulting work, have they been able to use the technological revolution that has been taking place in their firms, lower their service delivery time by using automation, by technology to increase the speed of the work, to streamline their workflows? How do you see the firms in Nepal, and also maybe outside of Nepal, because there are a lot of firms who have not even if the technology has come so far, the person has not gone to even a step one. So what do you see the technology adoption has been by firms to improve their own efficiencies, and if they have not, what do you see, or should the firms adopt those technologies and maybe help them in increasing their efficiency and maybe profitability?
Yeah. I should agree that Nepali firms, especially the bigger, even smaller one and the bigger one, are not able to adapt to the new technologies that are available in the market itself because of the technology cost involved or the reluctance on the partners itself.
Right.
Those are the two major areas that the local Nepali firms are not able to. But because of this dynamic environment, this has reduced to a greater extent over the past 3-4 years.
Right.
Earlier, getting a laptop or getting a desktop was considered as a technological advancement, but
Right.
now it's not treated like that, and you need to have a softwares, you need to have a database management system, you need to have a Microsoft 365 tool or other kinds of original software versions, and there are skill sets also involved and which need to be provided to their staff members. So this has increased a lot, but yes, the technological adoption process has been a slow process for the Nepali firms. But I think because of this cost involved also, because the process involved also, and because the risk involved also over the period of last 10 years, I think this will not continue for long, and there will be a lot of technological development or adoptions by the local firms also.
Right.
And I can see few firms adopting software based auditing processes, and data sharing has been a common phenomena now. And there are multiple firms who are using original Microsoft 360 to do their day-to-day data sharing and do their day-to-day work. So it has improved a lot, but
Right.
not to that extent as compared to other professions where they were quite robust in, or they were quite aggressive on adopting that technology.
In the last episode, I had a talk with an automation expert, and what he said is, okay, you may be far behind in the technology or automating your processes, but you should not be thinking about jumping from step one to going into a full-fledged adoption. But at least you have to take the next step, and after taking the next step, step 2, step 3, then you can climb that ladder. But directly jumping into full-fledged automation can have a negative impact in terms of cost, and because of you are not skilled on using the technology. You have brought in the technology, but you do not know how it operates or how you can work with those technology, then it can have counterproductive influence in your processes. Now to talk about AI. It seems that AI should be brought up in every episode because it's the hot new topic. And if you have seen the recent, maybe a couple of days ago, ChatGPT also released its ChatGPT 4.0, and the functions that it could do was phenomenal. And what do you see AI having impact on the accounting industry? What would be the use cases, if there is any, in the accounting industry?
Okay, there are a lot of use cases, and yeah, AI is a very interesting topic to discuss, but I don't see that will have a lot of direct impact for the coming 4-5 years.
Right.
Because AI, as you said, is a quite expensive technology. Yeah, there are chat GPTs and those things, and that will have a lot of impact on our way of doing the work, or on the way our extracting the informations. But from accounting aspects, from the assurance aspect, I think there will be people involved. Our generations will be fully focused on the judgmental aspects. There is one term used in our assurance activity. We call it a judgment.
Right.
And AI won't be providing that judgment in the assurance field. So there will be judgment involved, and until and unless there is judgment involved,
Right.
will be there. Human brain will be there,
Right.
and will be providing that kind of services. And yeah, there because of these AI factors, there will be a lot of jobs that will become redundant. Just like when computer was introduced, you're preparing the ledgers, preparing the manual records, or data extractions and data number crunching has reduced, but the whole accounting aspects has not wiped out, but improved to a greater extent, that you need a more new kind of skill sets, or more information is needed. Now you can ask for a high value financial statement preparations. I still remember when my father doing a lot of number crunching job with his calculators, and after becoming a chartered accountant, never did that work. Yeah, I need more brain used for a high value activity,
Right.
than for totalings and everything, and for carry forwarding of the figures. So your way of doing the work, or your way of providing services, will be different because of this technological advancement. But I don't think you will be redundant, or the accountants will be redundant. Yeah, your activity will be moved from an accounting aspect to a financial sector. So accounting and finance are treated together, but it's a different thing. Accountants, I think, is a more of a historical aspects, and finance is more of a futuristic aspects. So we are living in a past, we are living in a present, and we'll be living in the future. So we have incorporated all these present, past and future into
Right.
our professions. We are providing projections, we are providing valuations, these are related to future. We are presently doing all the accounting works, this is present, and we are treating historical data, this is the past. So from this kind of services, I don't think the technology itself will make our job redundant.
Right.
But yeah, we need to be dynamic enough. We need to learn a new skill set now. There will be new requirements. For example, you may not be requiring to enter the data, but you may be requiring to interpret the data.
Right.
For example, today you will be entering invoices, or you will be making a debit credit entry, but from now on all the data are captured by the camera itself, so you don't need to do any such kind of job. But again, you may need to segregate those things, you may need to use your brain for segregating those things. So those are the areas I think will be required in the future, but may not be to that extent that you will be wiped out, or the whole
Right.
professions will be wiped out because of the AI.
Right. So you are focusing more on the benefits that AI will bring in the accounting profession. Take the work, the repetitive work from the hands of the accountants, automate it, do it by the AI, and the now accountants have time to do more high level work.
Exactly.
Where they are transitioning from accountants, bookkeepers to now advisory role.
Exactly.
So you see a great potential of AI in freeing up menial works, and then letting the accountants have more intellectual or more advisory kind of role.
Exactly. The data will be there, the technology will be there,
Right.
the knowledge will be there, but that will be used in a different role. I think there will be no problem on preparing the financial statement, but people will be more focused on interpreting the results.
Right.
So that is what our profession is also expecting, and that is what our accounting standards, auditing standards, and everyone, even the clients are expecting. So
Right.
there will be value addition services to the clients. rather than arithmetical calculations.
Right. So there's a great analogy that I'd like to make. First, humans used to walk on their 2 feet. Then they got horses. Then after that, bicycles. Now motors were put into bicycles, and there was motorcycles and cars, and then came aeroplanes and jets, right? So that is what technology does. But the one aspect of that technology is always the human. Human had to walk from here to there. He had to make a lot of effort and had a lot of expend a lot of time to reach there. But technology makes the time and effort very small and small and small, and like you said, the AI will also have that impact where the effort and time has reduced to a very minuscule level, but the work that a person needs to do, he needs to do, right?
Yeah.
There is a certain conclusions or certain interpretation that has to be made. The AIs or the automation tools, they are just like in the definition, they are just tools that is to be used by humans. So accountants will have better and better tools, but they will also need to be skilled on using the tools, because if you have tools and you do not know how to use it, you'll go nowhere. But the tools will increase your efficiency. It will not take away your job. I think we have come to our time, and before we move, I think because you are the president of the Association of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, would you like to say anything to your members, and would you like to paint us a picture of what Acan will be doing for the members, and also a small picture of what accounting is going to look like in the Nepali context for the next, let's say, 5 years, and also in the global context?
As being a president of Acan, I see a very good prospect on accounting professions in Nepal. We have opportunity here in Nepal also, and outside Nepal also. So we need to have a dynamic aspect. We need to increase our skill sets. Yeah, that's for sure. And we can do a very good job in changing our whole economy, because I think accountants are in such a situations that they can change not only the family itself, not only the society itself, but the whole economic well-being of the country itself. Right. Because we are strategically placed in such companies or such organizations or in such places that there will be our voices will be heard. Our voices are heard by the business community. Our voices are heard by the government itself. So we need to have that skill set so that we are prepared for the new changes that are going to take place in the technology aspects and in other aspects as well. And for my members, I want to say that as per my agenda and as per my team's agenda, we are continuously working on that, but our work will be more of a more focused on strategic areas. I wanted to make it a sustainable one, so it's not that we will continue one program and we'll just move into another and just leave that rest of the days. So that I will always try to make it vibrant Acan, vibrant members. Acan will reach to you. Acan will try to reach to all the members. We will segregate the members in terms of the age, in terms of their geographical locations, in terms of their different skill sets, and try to reach out to the to more members as far as possible. We are committed to doing what we have said, and we will do it as we have planned, as we have said, and this will, I think, benefit the whole professions. And for achieving those goals, I need member support. Right. And we will reach out to you for all the support that we want, and I expect full support from the members.
Thank you. It has been a very positive conversation with you, and you have painted a very interesting, positive, and full of benefits picture of the accounting industry for Nepal, and also the global changes, the technological changes, the shortages in outside world has now brought in opportunities for Nepal. The technology has brought in opportunity in terms of analytics, in terms of automation, in terms of being able to work from anywhere for any countries outside of your home country. And also we talked about getting into other fields, not just focusing into audit itself, but also assurance in other areas, and the need to upskill yourself, because with technology you will also need to the increase in efficiency of the tools. You should also increase your efficiency of how you use the tools. So thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sushilji. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.